Visit getvaccineanswers.org for all the latest information on the COVID-19 vaccines. That's getvaccineanswers.org. Getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you. A message brought to you by the Ad Council and the CDC.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff.
Holy on smoke! Are you kidding me?
Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Can't wait. Oh, yeah.
This part of Snowman in the Morning proudly brought to you by the Diaspora Psychedelic Society, a values-driven psychedelic society that promotes personal growth and self-development through the use of sacred medicines and psychedelics. We work to preserve the human right to nature-based interventions, gotta love that, and to foster collaboration over competition in the sacred medicine space. Want to learn more? Go to diasporapsychedelicsociety.org. That's diaspora, Diaspora, psychedelicsociety.org. And thank you to the folks at Transform You Radio and the folks at the Diaspora Psychedelic Society for sponsoring this here program. And I'm going to give them a blog post tonight when I get back from work. And I'm going back to work today. I am so excited to see my homies at the hotel and learn the second shift and just keep going with it. Man, I'm excited. I am so excited to get back to work. All right, speaking of getting back to work, honey, could you print that apology letter that I wrote yesterday? That I formatted, because a lot of people need to have it. And here is Snowman's double take. Jay Spivey in 15 minutes.
Apology letter. Okay.
Yep.
I gotta hear this.
You know what? There's a better way I can do this.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have. I need a favor from you, my man. You're gonna have to send me that video intro of this, because I got to send one of these.
Okay.
Email Jimmy G haters. CC 49er haters. Subject of email. Well, how do you like that?
Ouch.
Body of email. Since Jimmy Garoppolo became the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers in 2017, there have been opinions to the negative of him all over the place. Even within the even within the 49er faithful. A lot of the 49er faithful were so afraid that Garoppolo wouldn't fit this offense. You know what happened yesterday in the second half? He just played himself into an extension. Now, should the 49ers let him go? And everyone's talking about it's because of the cap hit. It's because of the cap hit. Jimmy Garoppolo is a winner. Period. Jimmy Garoppolo is a winner, and I will keep saying that. Unlike some of these people that want to see him gone, that want to see him traded, that want to see him with another team, because he's just not the unquestioned leader of this 49er team, I got news for you. Kiss my ass. I've said all along Garoppolo's the unquestioned leader of the 49ers. The only thing he's had go wrong were injuries. Injuries that he's come back from, including a thumb injury that kept him out of the Houston Texans game. Was I impressed with Trey Lance? Indeed I was. But Jimmy Garoppolo deserved a shot at the Rams. And psychologically, that had to play a part in what happened in Los Angeles. Let me be technical. Inglewood, yesterday. Jimmy Garoppolo had 2 injuries to his thumb on his throwing hand. 2! Didn't require surgery. He was held out of the 49ers-Texans game, which turned out to be a damn good move, because you don't want to take any chances, and Garoppolo wasn't ready. Damn good move. You know what the better move was? Starting him yesterday. giving him a chance. Giving him, what's the O word I'm looking for? Oh, yeah, an opportunity. Well, all Jimmy G did in the second half was take that opportunity, use a powerful running game, and rammed it down the Rams' throat.
So you mean to tell me that, contrary to what 49ers haters are saying, Garoppolo is not a detriment to the team? He actually is a welcome addition to it?
Damn straight.
Oh, that's what I thought you were saying.
Now, for those of you that keep saying, oh, he doesn't have the numbers, he doesn't have the numbers. According to what he did yesterday on a bad thumb, 23 of 32, 316 yards, 1 touch, 2 picks, and a game-winning drive in overtime, including a 55-yard connection to, that's right, Deebo Samuel. Meanwhile, Mr. Stafford, who everyone thought was the missing piece to the Rams' puzzle, and he's nowhere near that. 21 of 32, 238, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, and the last pick he threw cost them the game.
Ended the game. And had no business throwing either pick.
No business whatsoever, because if the Rams tied, it wouldn't have mattered. They'd get the number 2 seed anyway. You stupid fools. Now, let me read Garoppolo's stats again. 23 of 32, 316 yards, a touch, and 2 picks. You know how many passing yards? Let's go over the season stats. That's what I wanted. Let's go over the season stats. In 17 games, including him missing 2 of them. So in 15 games, he threw for 3,810 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
Yeah, not spectacular, but said it's run first. I'll take that.
68.3 completion percentage.
That actually is very good. I definitely will take that.
8.6 yards per attempt, since people want to since people want to use advanced metrics or sabermetrics or wherever the F it's called.
And that's a positive number for a QB.
It sure is. 8.6 yards per attempt. And, of course, people want to look at the quarterback rating. And I'm removing my glasses for this one because I'm looking at this up close. $98.7. Let me read that number again. 98.7. 71% completion percentage against the Rams. Against the Rams! And when the 49ers got their act together, when the 49ers decided, we're not going to take this anymore, when the 49ers decided, hey, we own them, not the other way around, guess which area of the Rams defense they ran toward? That's right, the linebackers. Mitchell.
The weakest part of their defense.
And it's going to cost them. 21 carries, 85 yards, and that's just for Elijah Mitchell. In the second half, the 49ers played like, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me think. Yeah, champions. 31 carries, 135 yards, a rushing touchdown by Debo, and 4.4 on the ground. Not bad. Meanwhile, for the Los Angeles Rams, 27 carries, 64 yards.
Embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Embarrassing. For those who want to claim that Sean McVay is an offensive genius,
Ha!
I want you to look at these games very closely and say that oxymoronic sentence.
Now there goes your twang. Very. Listen, I have the southern twang too, so.
Mm-hmm.
If they can run for 135 yards against a supposed Ram defense that's top 5 in the league, and I don't buy that BS as far as I can throw it, then what do you think they're going to do to the Cowboys next weekend? Run roughshod? Yeah, good answer. But it starts, and since y'all want to make this point, I will make it for you, but in a way that you will never, ever, ever make this point. It starts and ends with Jimmy G. The Rams tried to end it. Garoppolo got started. And that drive where they finally ran a play in Rams territory in the first half contained 2 completions to Brandon Ayuk. Know where the first one went? Know where the second one went? Deep in the Rams territory. And what happened after that? Robbie Gould got the 49ers on the board. Because had they not scored, the Rams would have kept the momentum. The 49ers had the momentum with that drive to end the first half. And who engineered that drive? Oh, yeah, that will be Jimmy Garoppolo. That will be number 10. That will be the man out of Eastern Illinois that's done better than Tony Romo. That would be your 49ers quarterback. That would be
Trey Lance.
Not Trey Lance. Jimmy Garoppolo. And as I said at the top of this email, Jimmy Garoppolo is a winner. Have you forgotten that? Have y'all forgotten the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo just wins? See, if you want to paint the same brush with Dak Prescott, if you want to paint the same brush with Kyler Murray, if you want to paint the same brush with, God help me, Matthew Stafford, hell, if you want to paint the same brush with Tom Bleepin' Brady, the only one of that bunch that's proven it, it's Brady. But there's a reason I put him in this list. If you want to paint the same brush with the quarterbacks that I've mentioned, then you better doggone paint that same picture with the same brush with Jimmy Bleepin' Garoppolo. Because all he does is win football games, damn it.
To your narrative of all he does is win, thank you, T-Pain, for that hook on DJ Khaled's song. Garoppolo has started 45 games for the Scarlet and Gold.
Mm-hmm.
His record is 31 up and 14 down. So if you want to claim that Garoppolo is the problem with the 49ers, that record definitely 100% says otherwise. And I have no horse in the race. The numbers never lie.
Mm-hmm. This is what people tell me all the time when it comes to the teams that I follow. What's the common vernacular that I see on Facebook, which gets on my nerves. People lie, numbers don't. Well, to use that against the people that are against Jimmy Garoppolo and against the 49ers, people lie, numbers don't. 31-14 as a starter in for one of the most storied franchises in NFL history. I'll take that.
Yeah.
And to those who are clamoring for Trey Lance, you're going to be waiting a while.
Yeah, because it ain't going to be next year.
Because Garoppolo is here to stay. Period. So for those of you that don't like it, oh well. Sincerely, Brian Snow and Cole Johnson. Snowman in the Morning hosts. Proud partners. In association with Cole Sports with a Z. Send.
You know, good job, sir. Good job, sir. You know, it amazes me, and this is why I laugh at people when they want to talk about these things, that they don't look deep enough. They see that this guy, like, for example, he only threw in 17 games and 15 starts. He only threw for 3,810 yards. Only threw for that.
Yep.
And it's amazing.
And he missed 2 games.
Yeah, he missed 2 games. But he only threw for that much. And to be quite blunt, that total extrapolated over 15 games, that averages over 250 yards per game. For a running team, you know how good that is? For a running team,
we know how good it is.
He averaged 200. For a running team, he averages over 250 yards a game passing. So
for the best running team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, the 49ers all season didn't abandon the run.
But because he doesn't throw 600 passes like Brady, and he doesn't have the 350, 400-yard games like Dak and Rodgers do, and because he isn't a young gun like Burrow or Herbert.
So
and because he's not as athletic as Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, it does not mean that Jimmy Garoppolo sucks as a QB. In fact, that 31-14 record tells me otherwise. It tells me, well, it looks like they got a pretty good thing going. And the 49ers, chiefly amongst them, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, know what they are doing. And so does Jimmy himself.
And I love it. And I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. And he fits the philosophy of we want to run first, we want to be physical, because we want to be physical on both trenches. And number 10 has done what Steve Young has done and what Joe Montana has done, which that would be, when necessary, guide the ball where it needs to go, and when necessary, be the hero. But does he have to be the hero every single game? No,
he doesn't.
But he's going to put the ball into the hands of those who can be on every single game basis be the hero, which that is the job of a quarterback.
Now, let me throw this out there, since people want to talk mess. For the second time,
accent is hilarious.
Since people want to talk mess, for the second time this year, let me get this right. Yep, for the second time this year, back-to-back 300-yard games. Yeah.
So it proves that he can throw for that many and can still win games.
1, 2, 3, 4 300-yard games this year for Jimmy G. He doesn't need 8, 9, 10, or 11. He doesn't.
And I've always said this: does he need to throw for that many? No. And if I were Kyle Shanahan, I'd look at that 38-10 number for Garoppolo, and I'd be smiling from ear to ear. You know why? Because if that number was, say, 4,500 or 5,000, that would mean the running game isn't going so high.
Right. Oh, I correct myself. Let me make sure I got not 4 300-yard games, you Garoppolo haters. 5 of them. 5 of them. 5 300-yard games. 314 against Detroit. 322 against the Chicago Bears. 326 against Arizona. 322 against Tennessee. And 316 against the Rams. And the best part about that 316 against the Rams, it was on the road. They were down 17-0, and they came all the way back and snatched it. So, yeah. I'll expect your apology letters for Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, I know what's going to be said next. Well, he hasn't done anything in the playoffs. You fool.
He's gotten to the Super Bowl already. Mm-hmm. What else does he need to do?
Let me
except
put this
win
in
it.
Let me put this in a context that since we're facing the Cowboys, Cole, I'm going to ask you to really, really take into context what I'm saying, and I know you do, and I know you always do, and I appreciate that about you.
Thank you, sir.
Before we go to break, Jimmy Garoppolo has more playoff wins in a one-year run than Prescott has in 5 full seasons. Oops.
That is correct. And I'll even make you even happier. Garoppolo has more playoff wins in one stretch of games in the playoffs than Matt Stafford has had all of his career.
And Stafford ain't getting a playoff win this year either. So he finally won a division title. Did he win the game yesterday? No. Did he put his Rams in a position to win yesterday? In the first half, yes. In the money period, no. Because if that were the case, y'all would have knocked them out after they shoved the ball down your throat.
Mm-hmm.
And if he put them in such a position to win, he wouldn't have thrown that pass in overtime. Sorry.
I get that they were. I get that, like I said, I get that they are swashbuckling and they dare to be different and they dare to push the ball down the field. You know, sort of like what Al Davis used to preach with the Raiders.
And
we believe in that vertical
game.
And Hayes ran with the Chiefs. We believe in the vertical game. I get that.
Yep.
And I applaud that. 2 issues with that, especially with that game. One, you had a one-on-one situation with Beckham. The interception that ended the game. You had a one-on-one. Why did you grossly underthrow that ball? Grossly underthrow it.
Eric Kramer wouldn't have grossly underthrown that ball. And, yeah, I'm taking a direct shot at the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, because that is not on Beckham. He ran the right route. That's
on Stafford.
That is 100% on Stafford.
Listen to me carefully. That's on Stafford. That is on Stafford, period.
And the other is you were up 24-17 with the ball. Under 2 minutes to go in the game. You knew you had to drain the 49ers of their 3 timeouts and pick up a first down. Well, you did the first thing, but you were so conservative that you decided not to get the second done. Because if you picked up the first down, we wouldn't be talking about the 49ers being in the playoffs.
Game set match. You get a first down, game over.
Yeah.
And I'd have the same rant that I had about the Indianapolis Colts. Only with a few positives mixed in. Instead, I compare the 49ers and their performance yesterday to an old slogan from Nike. Get knocked down 7 times.
Oh,
stand up 8.
Yeah, it like I said, and like we said earlier, it's a testament to their They stick to this, their the perseverance,
Mm-hmm.
and they just were determined to not lose. They were determined to not walk out of SoFi with the playoff spot. They were determined not to walk out of there with a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to walk out of their stadium with a W and a playoff spot in their clutches.
Period.
And
Period.
What else can you do? Even if you aren't rooting for the 49ers, which I'm not, and it's not because I hate them, I just don't really have a rooting interest.
Right.
You have to do nothing but tip your cap to them because that's what you want your football teams to do. You want them to give the maximum effort at the crucial times.
Exactly.
They did that to a team that would have profited if they were to have beaten the 49ers and would have garnered the number 2 seed.
They'd profited big time. But see,
and knocked them out. But nope. The 49ers are like, we're not going to be denied. And I love that.
I've loved that about the 49ers for years, many years. I've been a fan of the 49ers since this day in 1982. Everson Walls still has nightmares. Speaking of the Bay,
40 years later.
There's been a reunion in the Bay.
A reunion?
We'll talk more about that when y'all get back. This is Snowman in the Morning.
What is dedication?
I am the father of a 9-year-old little girl and a 6-year-old little boy, and I find fatherhood both relentlessly challenging and relentlessly rewarding. My daughter is biologically